Hey guys, so this video is going to be about fixing my bumper, and if you haven't been paying attention to the vlogs and everything, or any of my videos, around like Christmas time, me and my friends went to see a movie at the movie theaters, and where I parked was in like a spot that was up against like a curb type of thing. Yeah, a curb. And I didn't realize how far I pulled up, and I didn't think I pulled up too far, but I guess I did, because when I was backing out, my bumper caught on the curb and completely tore off a big piece of it. So if you haven't been paying attention to the videos or haven't watched them recently, you wouldn't know that this happened, or you wouldn't have seen like how bad it actually is. I may have posted a picture of it on my Instagram or so, I don't remember, but I'm going to try and change that today. So I'm going to show you what products I'm going to be using to actually, that I'm actually going to be using to fix this bumper. And the way that this like cracked, if you want to call it that, is not a typical one, because it's an entire piece instead of just one section that got messed up. So it's going to be a little different of a video compared to some others. So let me just get everything on the table that I'm going to be using, and then I'll take you outside to show you what you have to take off so that the bumper can come off. I might not film that, I might just time-lapse it, or I might just show you what has to come off, and then turn the camera off, do it, and then bring it in here, because it is very hot outside. That's why I'm setting a table up in my basement to do this, because it's so hot outside. So let me just grab those products that I was telling you about, and I'll show you. Okay, so here is what you're going to need to do this. To fix the crack itself. Oh, actually, I forgot one more thing. There we go. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to need to do to fix the crack and make it whole again is this JB Weld plastic bonder. It's an epoxy. It's a two-part system, and if you see, it has a set time of 15 minutes, and you can sand it in 30, and it dries tan. I mean, that doesn't really matter, but that's kind of good. So you're going to be using this, but before you apply this, what you want to do is use this a sandpaper to scrub up both sides of where the crack is, and then inside the actual crack itself, so that the plastic bonder can fill into those cracks and adhere and clamp into each other, so it forms a complete bond. So after you sand it, you're going to apply this. Once you apply a good layer of this, you're going to use this, which is drywall tape. It's a mesh. This isn't completely necessary, but what it's going to do is give the crack that you're filling in a better bond and more strength. So you're going to do, like I said, you're going to do this, then you're going to do this, and then you're going to put another layer of this on top to give it more strength. And that's going to be on the inside of the crack. Oh, this is also the piece that came off, as you can see. So you're going to scuff up this side of the crack, inside the crack, and then the other side where that's going to attach, same with that side. And then once that's all set and everything, you don't really have to sand the outside. Then what you're going to do on the outside, or you don't have to sand the inside, I'm sorry. Then once on the inside, you're going to be using Bondo, or body filler. This is the 3M Bondo. I got this from Harbor Freight, and this actually was cheaper to get it at Harbor Freight than it was at Pep Boys or AutoZone. I forget how much I paid for it at Harbor Freight, but it was definitely cheaper. I don't really need a lot, because this is really the only big thing that I need body filler for. And then you're going to need your paint. I'm going with Plasti Dip on this, because I could buy the color match paint for my car. Duplicolor actually makes it, but what I wanted to do was, instead of doing that, going a somewhat of a cheaper route, was to use Plasti Dip. But what I'm doing with why I got black is because I want to add a little bit more of an aggressive look to the front of the car as like a first steps type of thing, because there is more to come for the front of the car and as the back of the car which I had said previously in my video on my trunk, on blacking out that trunk piece. So let me go outside and I'm going to take off the bumper. I'll try to explain it the best I can, but it's kind of hot, so I might just link Rich Pin's video of taking the entire front bumper off. It includes what I'm going to be taking off, and then he takes off the crash bar, whatever it is. So yeah, so I'm going to go take that off and bring it in, and we're going to take care of it in here because it's air conditioned and it's fucking hot outside. So let me go do that. Okay, so that took a little bit longer to get this out than it probably should have taken me, and that's only because let me see if I can show you. I hope you can see this. Not that one. This one right here. This one and the one down here, both this like slides, I don't know what they're called, what they really are, but they broke the bumper off, so I couldn't get the bolts out. That's what they're supposed to look like. I don't know if you can see that. They're supposed to be like that, but two broke off. So it took a little bit longer, but I also came to realize that there's a little bit more damage to this bumper than I actually had thought. Hold on, I gotta change the battery. Alright, so I had to change cameras, so the video might be a little bit different. So I'm just gonna go to work, and I might just do a voiceover with a time lapse to tell you guys what I'm doing. But like I had mentioned, what you first want to do, well, first I gotta clean all this stuff up because I need to make space. And the one thing that I forgot to mention that you'll also need are like these kinds of clamps, so that you can keep the bumper or the part that's cracked in line, so that you're putting it back to the correct place that it should be. So I'm going to go get to work and hope you guys enjoy. That's enough sanding. Now let's get to the actual work to this. Alright, so the plastic bonder, for the most part, has finally dried. Everything lined up pretty well. So I had a crack here that needed to be fixed. Come on, focus. There we go. I had this crack, which was part of this piece, and the one down there. And this line right here between where the one push pin goes is lined up pretty well. And this one, for the most part, is lined up as well, but it looks like I may have, like down here, it kind of fell off a little bit. I don't think I pushed it up far enough this side. This is in the right spot, but this, as you can see, this is a little, you can see it falls off a little bit. And that's because I didn't push this side up enough when I put the bond under on. So I don't think that should matter as much because this hole is still big enough for the pins, and I'll show you what they are. For these, it should still be big enough and should still work. Yeah. And if I, like, I'll have to figure out how to do that, but you can see, let me get the right angle. Yeah, you can see that this is poking out just enough that it's not lined up correctly. So I got to start on the Bondo, the body filler work, just a little bit. So let's get to that. Okay guys, so hope you guys can see, but I just laid the first coat of the black Plasti Dip to here. So I'm doing like an eyelid thing on the top under the headlights. I haven't started down here yet, but I'm gonna give this like about 10 minutes both sides to like dry or tack up a bit. This is like if you watch what is it called? I forget the one YouTube channel. I'll try and remember it later, but he says that, or it's Dip Your Car. That's what it is. So he does a first tack coat, a very light coat that will set up for the rest. It's very light. You want about like 50% coverage, maybe less. And then the next few coats, I'm probably going to do like 3. They're going to be a little bit heavier than this. But as you can see, it does, the masking took a lot longer than it, took a lot longer than I thought it would, but I used, my dad had this, I forget what it's called, but it's like line tape or something like that, that is bends and is very pliable and stretches, so it's easier to go around curves and to create better lines. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna give this about 10 minutes to dry because it's about like it's like 93 degrees out today, so it's pretty hot. So this should dry a lot faster than normal, hopefully. So I'll see you guys back in 10 minutes.